Now we're going to talk about that car accident that George had.
I had a car, and used to go to the basketball games, and Stanley Sokolowski, boy who lived in our neighborhood, was on the first team at Western. So I picked up Stanley and to take him to the game because I always was a spectator. And we ran out of gas right under a viaduct, about a block away from a gas station. So I went, got some gas, got a can, had to run a can, and Stanley is holding the funnel in the back of the car, and I'm standing on the corner of the car, and all of a sudden, I'm pouring the gas, he's holding the funnel, all of a sudden, some car, we were under a viaduct light, so we were in light, and this car sees us and he swerves and hits the car and me. Fortunately, my leg was in between a bumper, but he swerved enough that it didn't crush it and threw me 20 feet in front of the car. So I got up and I was trying to find my hat, got in kind of limping a little bit, and I found it and got the can and took the can back, took my deposit back, then took Stanley to the game because he was one of the players, high school players. Then meanwhile I dropped him off at the school and I drove to the hospital to have my knee examined. They took x-rays of my knee, my hip. My hip had a little bruise, and my knee was a little bruised, but nothing was broken other than bruised. Because when he hit the bumpers, he swerved so I wasn't crushed between the two bumpers. And then I go to the hospital. I drove to the hospital alone, and they took these x-rays and nothing was wrong, so I went back to the game. And after the game, they got home. Well, meanwhile, the police heard about the accident. They came to the house, and I wasn't at home. I was at the ball game to tell my mother about the automobile accident. I was the father. So they were alarmed when I came back that I was all right, you know, happy that I was all right. But in the meanwhile, I had to scratch my eye. I picked some pieces of glass around the edge of my eye. So other than that little bruised knee, I felt pretty good. So I was very fortunate because, like I said, they didn't find anything broken. But it really picked me up from behind the car, about 2 lengths of the car out in front, and I landed. And nothing broke, and I was really fortunate.
So when you got back to the game, did your team win?
I don't remember. Because I had to take Stanley home. He was one of the stars.
Okay, well, let's move on to the next.